November 10th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. in the Municipal Office Building, 107 Main Street, Gilbertville, on the issue of tax allocation among the property classes for fiscal year 2026. Ma'am, would you like to?
The Board of Assessors, pending final certification of the fiscal year 26 tax rate by the Department of Revenue, hereby recommends that the Board of Selectmen retain one tax rate for all classes of property. The Board feels that the relatively small benefit to the residential taxpayer that could be achieved using two tax rates is not warranted, considering the dramatic increase in taxes to be paid by the commercial, industrial, personal property taxpayer. Hardwick is a largely residential community that simply does not have enough of a commercial, industrial, personal property database to make classification worthwhile. The pro tempore tax rates are as follows. Without split, it would be $12.74. If we shifted, residential would go down to $12.14, and the commercial, industrial, and personal property would go up to $19.11. So we're recommending not to do that shift, the Board of Assessors.
And to keep one
Tax rate of $12.74 across the board for residential and commercial.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
What is the present tax rate for residential?
Right now, the tax rate for fiscal '25 is $13.15. We're doing we're getting the fiscal '26 approved, and it's going to be $12.74.
I'm good.
Anything?
No.
Anything?
Make a motion if you like.
Sure.
Make a motion to approve the single tax rate of $12.74 as set by the assessor.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank
It's
you.
quick and painless.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Don.
Did anybody have any questions of anything? No, what was that?
We'll leave now.
All right, I'm
Thank you.
going home.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Thank you.
Would you mind just closing the public hearing?
Thank you.
Make a motion to adjourn the public hearing.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. I'd like to move things around a little. Take up the appointment of Judy Korzik to the Master Plan Steering Committee. We have a letter from Master Plan Steering Committee.
From the planning board, which is in your packet from the planning board chair.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to appoint her to the Master Plan Steering Committee.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Now, if I may, I have correspondence from Mr. Smith wanting details about the Mary Lane Trust. And I fear that I don't know enough, so I thought that I'd ask you to kind of do a recap.
Sure, love to. So this is, as you know, this has been going on for several years, and we were dragged into it by Ware. I think trying to help save their situation with the trust, etc. But I will tell you that if you remember 6 weeks ago, maybe a little bit longer, we sent a letter to Bay State. Bay State requesting that we have that opportunity to be in front of them and have a conversation, because it's all been happening through Ware, and they've been cutting us off from being able to really know what was going on.
This board sent that letter.
That is correct. Within 3 days, I got an email, so I can actually tell you what date that was, from Michael Napick, who is Vice President of Government Relations. By the way, he was I believe in the Senate or some portion of the Massachusetts government at some point. He decided to help Bay State out. He was very frank on the telephone, so we did end up having a conversation on September, I think about September 5th. This note was September 3rd. We got together as quickly as possible. He was very upfront with me, and he said, listen, Judy, he said, what's nice about being in healthcare and knowing a lot of these people is they will actually talk to you. And he said, the Attorney General has already approved their Bay State convenient care idea in Ware, and that all those trusts and everything were already assigned to that. It was a done deal. It wasn't even, I mean, they could keep screaming to high heaven, it wouldn't matter, it was a done deal. So we were kind of being taken down this little pathway that there was still this opportunity of something to happen. That was already closed by the Attorney General, which Ware did not let us know. And it's interesting that Ware has not contacted us ever since they knew we did talk to Bay State. So they know that. And by the way, I think Bill has a little bit more information on what's happened with the AG and the properties as well. What I'm talking about right now is the trusts and this entire, what I will tell you is a bit of a farce of the Bay State proposal for this convenient care center, which they're going to put into Ware, or they say. What Mike told me was it's not going to be any earlier than 2027 or 2028. And let me give you some detail on what this means. Number one, they're claiming it's going to make them broke. They're saying that they are going to be at a $330 or $630,000 a year deficit. They're going to take all the value of all the trusts. They said the approximate distribution of those trusts was only $300,000, which we know to be well more than that, but neither here nor there. This has already been approved by the Attorney General, so we really don't have any recourse at this point in time. Operating loss, $600,000 per year, after taking all the trusts and taking all the notes. So there you go. What I also want to say about this is, let me talk about community care. This is not an urgent care center. Let me explain how this works. A community care center, which they have a few of those, is a same day. You can walk in. However, the catch, you have to be an existing patient of Bay State Health. You cannot, it's not an urgent care. It is not an emergency room. It is similar to what they did in, what's that town up the street? Belchertown. They started that as an urgent care, and within a year they flipped it to primary adult care only. Which, by the way, only half that building is that now, and the other half is leased out by LabCorp. But it's a totally different thing. So this convenient care is not going to offer our town anything. It is not urgent care. It is not providing anything that we could use. And again, you would have to be a patient of Bay State, which they only had certain PCPs. Let's be reminded that is a hospital system that is at a 1-star CMS rating, which is the lowest rating you have in Medicare and Medicaid. So they're going to start getting penalized. So I pushed Mike a little bit and I said, is this why you're trying to make the Mercy acquisition? And he chuckled because Mercy has a 4-star. And if they buy Mercy and strip Mercy, then, which Mercy's doing really well, but they're going to go in and try to do a hostile takeover of Mercy to get their star rating up so that they can get their millions in the door from CMS and AGIP. So anyway, we are getting nothing out of this deal if you did not just get that synopsis. So he's not here right now, but Neil and I are going to be reaching out to, we're going to continue our conversations with UMass and going down that pathway. We are in Worcester County, and we also have Barry uses a lot of residents from UMass, and we're going to try that pathway. Bay State said they were open to talking to us if we let if everybody that they had working within the system would buy drugs from their, take over the kind of their pharmacy program here, so they get money in, and they would do maybe a telehealth or something here, which is not a bad thing. That is not a bad program for rural health. There is $40 billion right now available through the, I'm gonna say that word, don't shoot me here. The big, beautiful bill has $40 billion for rural health care, of which we have a big chunk of that in the state, which is west of 495, has the majority of that. So, but the UMass has it and Bay State has it. So now it's a matter of just trying to figure out if we can get a program out or two out of Bay State because of what they did to us. Perhaps we can, but we're working the UMass angle as well. Does that help?
I still have questions.
Please ask.
What, I don't understand, we had a functioning hospital, and we had this trust, and then they just arbitrarily decided it was time to tear it down and take the money.
You gotta, well, if you actually look at the history of this, because I know you love reading all this history, and I'd be happy to share this, because I was shocked, because I did the same thing. I'm in healthcare, so I did this. So I went back and I was trying to figure out how in the heck did they have this much power? How could they even do this? Well, what happened is when the board of Mary Lane, it was the board of Mary Lane decided to sell to Bay State. And then there was a deal with Palmer, with Wing, which said, they went through the AG and they said, oh, we don't need that emergency room anymore. We could actually do this in Wing. You can actually see the paperwork. It's actually public record. I can hand it to you. And you can see this progression that Ware and Mary Lane agreed to Mary Lane board making that decision to sell these assets. Now, there's a lot of different assets. One is the trust, and then there's a lot of gifts that were given to Mary Lane. Those were like departments or wings or whatever. Those were not in the will or anything like it was for this particular trust. However, they had control over all of those. And all they have to prove is they're doing betterment in order to use those. And the Attorney General signed off on that 3 separate times. Next question?
Can I?
I was in shock.
Can I ask a question?
Shocked, because I've been fighting for this.
You know, being the person who has loved to tilt at windmills at times, has anybody ever thought of doing a class action lawsuit against
That's
them?
a done deal.
Excuse me, speak up.
I'm sorry.
Come on in.
I'm splitting my time. Board of Health's over there. I think this is a done deal. This is not worth the money or the time to try to fight. You're not going to win this. There's not enough money there to win. It's not worth the effort.
Right.
You know, the capital assets are gone. The buildings are gone. The trusts have already been seeded. This is a done deal, and we need to make the best of what we can do to move forward.
There's a vestige, though. I think what happened is the construction that's going on Route 9 right now, where they're widening and smoothing it, that's a tip plan that's several years back and was designed to allow the ambulances to get to Mary Lane more quickly. So,
But I'm looking at the fact that we had a percent, but the Hardwick has a vested interest in that, and Hardwick's getting nothing. There has to be some sort of legal ramifications that should
We could fight
make
it.
Hardwick whole.
There's 2 ways, Liz, let me
Okay.
just interrupt for just a second. There's 2 ways to handle this. Number one, we could fight the Attorney General, which would cost us a lot of money to
Or we
do.
could fight where?
Or, no, you can't fight Ware already, no. It's really Bay State, because Bay State owned that land, Bay State owned.
Yeah, but we're signed us, we're
I
signed away
agree
our
with you.
rights.
Okay, all right,
Okay.
let me put my 2 buckets back out there. So one is we could sue, just fill in the blank, sue somebody. Or we could try to continue to work with Bay State and get some type of program out of them that's worth that $300,000 per year for X amount of years. So we have a choice. They have not shut the door on that. Matter of fact, they've opened the door on that to work with them. So we
Because they
have a
need
choice
patience.
of
They
either
need
suing
patience.
or trying to work. And you're right, we have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out what the avenue would be. Can we get $300,000 to $400,000 worth of services, like telepharmacy, or having one day a week having, somebody go to the homes and check, remote patient monitor, something that they already do, but they bring out to our area to support our seniors and things like that. Can we do that? Otherwise, which they've been open to.
I guess the question is, do we want medical services from Bay State? Because Bay State has that 1 star, and Bay State is sued daily for malpractice.
That's where I'm at, but at the same time, do you really
Okay,
want to, do
and-
you want to spend the money to sue where?
Well,
it's
I mean, I don't
so.
care what Bay State brings in, I will never go to another Bay State facility. I will, if I'm dying and I don't make it to Worcester, then,
Well, I'm open
Life's
to
a bitch,
suggestions on,
you know?
being in corporate for so many years, running healthcare companies, sometimes negotiation is the way to go, which is why I reached directly out to Bay State's board and to Bay State's CEO, which is Peter Bacon. The question is, do we want to try to get something, because we could probably negotiate something, versus trying to fight and spend money on lawsuits. And I'm open for that. We don't have to talk about that tonight, but that's kind of where we're at. if
well,
that
a class
helps.
action
Thank you,
lawsuit
Judy.
wouldn't hurt process anything, but that's.
I'll be happy to share all
I
information,
would love that, and
book of it.
thank you.
I know
Thank
you've
you,
done a lot
Judy.
of work on
Yeah.
it, Judy, for
Thank you.
years.
Thanks for the briefing, and congratulations
Thank
on your
you.
new,
Yeah, well, hopefully one of our pillars in the master planning is healthcare.
and don't forget to get sworn in.
Okay.
By the town clerk.
Oh, by the time, okay.
Or
I can do it for you
When,
next time I see you.
perfect.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you. Any other questions? Just
No.
call me if you have any more,
Will do, thank
honestly.
you, Judy.
Bill Cole, you're gonna?
Yeah, about Judy, if
Oh.
if I may, thank you. Just to remind the committee and the people out there that the committee, the Master Plan Steering Committee is 11 persons possible, and there are now, with Judy thankfully on board, that's 8. Still room for
Oh, good.
2 or 3 more if others out there want to sign up. We're making good progress, and you'll hear a lot more about that before too long. And yes, as the chair just mentioned, you need to get sworn in
I can be at
with
the meeting.
Ryan, so you can be at Thursday night's meeting, right back here, 6:30.
Just out of
Is that
curiosity,
all right?
what's a quorum for them?
A majority, but it is a
Majority
majority
of
of the 11.
Of 11?
Yeah,
So it's 5.
Six.
Six.
There's only 8.
that's correct.
Okay. I just,
You're right.
it's not easy.
Stuff them in there.
So it helps, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks a lot.
Thank
both
you.
of you.
Thank
Thank you, Mark. Thank you,
Yeah,
Judy.
thank you. I'll watch the rest of this on television.
Oh.
Yeah.
But
Approval of minutes. Oh, visitor comments? Do we have any visitor comments?
Thank you for having Judy come in and explain that.
Sure. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we briefly talked about this beforehand. The Historical Commission needs to address Schoolhouse Number 6. And you're very much aware of the fact that for the last 2 years, this has been going back and forth between the society and the commission. Brief synopsis, Schoolhouse Number 6, which used to stand across from Still Life Farm on Petersham Road, is no longer. The deed was straightened out on that, and it was deeded back to the town with the intention that the town was to deed that to the Hardwick Historical Society so that they could rehab it and repurpose it and turn it into a little historical site. It was the last remaining one-room schoolhouse in this town. Because the town just kept kicking the can down the road, it never got transferred. and now the building is no more. However, in the middle of that whole thing, the society was given permission to start as a nonprofit, to start fundraising for the rehab of that building. I don't know how much money they originally brought in. I don't know if you know.
I have no idea.
But I know that they used some for stabilizing the front and tarping it at one time. And there she sits, and like I said, it's gone now. But there is approximately $600 being held in a schoolhouse number 6 fund under the hands of the treasurer or of this historical society. And so I am asking the selectmen if, on behalf of the historical commission, kind of sort of roundabout, if the selectmen will write a letter to the Hardwick Historical Society asking for an accounting of the monies that were brought in, because the town owned that building, they still own the land and it's their money, an accounting of the monies that were brought in and how they were dispersed, and have the balance returned to the town of Hardwick, okay? And one other little thing is, I would respectfully request that that $600 approximate dollars that comes back to the town be put into a fund for the historical commission, because we have not been funded for years and years, and this could be some seed money to start so that the commission can become much more active than they are now. Was that the whole thing in a snap? In a
I
nutshell?
think so.
Yeah, okay.
I think so. So we should write a letter. That's really what you're looking for, is for us to write a letter to the
Get the money
Historical
back from the
Society
historical society, yes.
to get the money. You think it's about $600?
Yeah. Okay. But I mean, it was, you can ask for a full accounting of how much was deposited and where it was spent. I mean, we don't know. I faintly remember a few things, during some society meetings about, oh, we're gonna spend this on the schoolhouse, but exact figures, I don't know.
Okay.
But get the money back to the town, and then if you could hold it in trust for the commission, so that, because I did talk to the town accountant about how the commission could start getting a fund.
Now, there's the society does not want to give back that money, or
Oh, no,
they
no,
just
they're
simply
just
haven't been
sitting there.
asked?
No, nobody's ever asked.
No one's
Just
ever
asked.
asked?
Yeah.
Okay,
You want to try asking first?
yeah.
Maybe make a good contact?
There were.
We could write a letter and-
Penny is the treasurer.
We could write a letter and direct them to do something, or you guys could have a conversation and work together.
That's,
But if you remember, we've had these conversations, remember? And it's gone nowhere, so I think that, and it doesn't have to be a nasty letter, it's just, can you give the money back?
in my mind, I'd like the commission,
Mhm.
whoever ends up running the commission, to ask first.
Well, would you give the commission the authority to write a letter to request the money get returned to the town, or do you want it to get returned to the commission? I mean,
It would have to go to the town.
it would have to go to the town.
Right.
Right. Yes, sir.
We should add this to a future agenda item and have a full discussion on it if you want, or write a letter or figure whatever out. Because this is visitors' comments, it's not on the agenda or anything, so,
Okay,
you know what I mean? We've talked
Good
about
idea.
it quite a bit.
I suggest that you ask,
It's on the.
and
it's on
then
the
we'll put it
agenda.
on our agenda for our next meeting.
It's on the commission's agenda for
Yeah.
the next meeting.
Okay,
All right.
and when are you guys meeting now?
Well, it's supposed to be Thursday, and then, I don't know, Ryan's.
I know there was
Now it's Friday.
swearing
I
in
don't
that
know.
had to be done.
and if you come up with something at your meeting and you
Yeah.
still want something on our agenda, let us know.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
We'll put it on our next meeting
But, I mean,
agenda.
obviously, the selectmen have no qualms about getting the money back, right?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I don't think so either.
It's the town's money, it's just sitting there.
It's our money. Okay, other
Thank you.
visitor, yes, sir?
Thank you. You may recall from days where we talked at the Page Memorial Library trustees and also at a town meeting, anyway, there was, I was trying to say that there was a mysterious amount of money in what's called the Page School Trust. And its history is murky, and we raised this over a year ago, but with our treasurer situation and all that, it hadn't gotten resolved in any way. And this had to do with monies that were, I think, library endowment monies that got perhaps misdeposited to what was called, and is still called, the Page School Trust. I don't know how much. Maybe that was legitimate because the library somehow assumed that. I don't know, but it all came to mind when one time at an annual meeting, a couple ago, I guess, we allocated funds to remove, remember, the oil tank or something from the property, and yet I was like, wow, there's that money there, and that money, if whatever it is, if it's indeed as the terms of the trust dictate that it's there for the perpetual care and benefit of the school, and I think we're talking about Ruggles Hill School, that money, something's got to happen with that. If it's there, then it could be used for in the disposition or rehabilitation or whatever happens with that school. Otherwise, it's just orphaned when something different does happen to that building. So I just think it's worth perhaps getting the accountant, and Sarah Hunter had some awareness of this before, and getting it figured out, what's there and what are the options with that money.
If I could throw, excuse me, I'd like to speak now. The library, the Page Library, is built on the foundations of the high school,
Yeah.
which might have been called the Page High School. I don't know. I'm just saying that might have been the Page School talked about. It's just a wrinkle.
Yeah.
In that beat up.
I think, I think from what I've been able to dig out, that it's more likely the school.
Ruggles Hill
Ruggles, yeah.
Road School.
But there was confusion there because it was burnt down, the library took it over and
Right.
so forth, but I think it was with the school. So, and it may be that all the money is properly in accounts that belong to the library now. I don't know.
Right.
But clearly, it'd be good to have some understanding before the building went elsewhere and the money sat there without a purpose. So that was one thing.
Ms. Siren,
In my understanding and all the history that I have done on the center school, it has never been called the Page School,
right,
okay?
I didn't think so.
In my understanding of the history of Hardwick, the Page School was what's now the Page Library. So,
which is what I just suggested.
yeah, exactly, I'm backing that up. I'm just saying, is in anywhere in that, does it mention an address or where it's located? That
Well,
would be,
Well, digging, Mr. Cole's gotten into this pretty deep. I don't know.
I can revive and share with whomever you want, whatever I had, and then try to involve and Sarah possibly, certainly the accountant. There are some records in there, and the historical record of the town does talk about some of the endowments and so
Right.
forth. So
Right.
you might find there's something there that could be good to know about.
So you're gonna take that as a job, task, exercise?
With the weight of your suggestion to the new accountant and perhaps some involvement of Sarah Hunter, I'd gladly talk to them about whatever I had, and Liz and the history, whatever, to try to bring it into focus. So if you want, sure.
All right, well, let's do a little manhunt. See if we can find out what that meant. We might,
Would the clerk have any of this information?
clerk might have that information.
Just a suggestion.
Yeah, it's in a lot of the annual reports going back many, many years. Sometimes it's in there as a line item with the page school trust having X. And other times it's not in there at all, and then it's back in there.
And it might just be something to support kids going to school, you know, that kind of an endowment program or something. I don't
I
know.
think it was for the care of the school.
All right, good. See, tracking it down.
So we shall.
Thank you.
Am I coming on a different subject?
Sure.
Thank you. I'm remembering how, you know, the board decided to send out letters to the nonprofits. I don't remember how many there were, but that'd be one question. This would be letters soliciting them to make what by law or voluntary contributions, pilot agreements to the town. And I just hadn't heard any updates about that. I wondered how many letters went out, and what the response was like. How many ignored it, how many might have signed up or might have contributed, and what the dollars might mean, what it's come to, and whether that approach continues or is going to be modified or what.
I don't know. Do you know?
No, I do not. I've been requesting this, and I don't know the status of it. Justine, do you happen to know the status?
11 letters went out, everyone except the state, and actually no, including the state, 11 letters went out. We got a couple inquiries early on. I know one was East Quadrant Land Trust. Everyone, it escapes me, inquiring, wanting more information, but other than that, like wanting copies of the policy, but other than that, I haven't heard anything.
If I may, Mr. Chair, a while back, over the summer, I believe, we asked us to reach out to Eagle Hill and the nonprofits, because Eagle Hill was expanding and doing 4 houses and now a new dormitory, which opens a pilot agreement per our policy to renegotiate something. And I don't know if that information went out.
Yeah.
And we got a response, because I never saw a response. So.
Did we get a response?
They declined.
I think we should go visit them.
I would like to have a conversation, you know, just whether it's meet with David, if it's okay with the board, you know, or the board, we post it and have a conversation. Because they're developing, they should be a partner in this town, they should contribute to this town and help us out, you know.
I don't see any issues with having the conversation. I think it should be with the board.
Okay?
So
You
we
can take the lead on it, I
Well-
just think we all should be involved.
Absolutely.
So we invite them in.
Yes.
Send an invitation. I
Yeah.
recommend, yeah.
So is there a meeting in mind? Or the next meeting after that, whatever? So I can-
Springtime. No,
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, we're kind of loading up the next couple meetings already.
Well,
well, we're not going to do Zekos, so.
Yeah.
Along the same lines with Eagle Hill, we as a sewer commission have to approve a new sewer connection for their new dormitory that just got passed through the planning board. Am I correct, Bill, on that?
Site plan
Yeah.
review was
Passed.
approved, yes.
Right, Harry?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, so,
Could
you know,
hit,
it wouldn't be a waste of their time. We could put it on the agenda as far as the sewer commission and find out information on the sewer connection.
kill 2 birds with 1 stone,
Yeah.
right?
So which
Okay.
meeting?
Which
Um,
meeting?
The next meeting, 2 weeks from now, we won't be ready for negotiating with the,
Yeah. 24th?
Okay.
24th?
we're not full yet.
Whatever.
Okay.
Okay,
Whatever's good with them, reach out and, you know, because it is close to Thanksgiving, so
Thanksgiving, you may
we're
have other
flexible.
things going
We're
on.
flexible.
Good.
They can bring a turkey, right?
Mr. Comerford?
Yeah, on the site plan review, the new dormitory is replacing an old dormitory. So it's not increasing the student population by doing that. It's just supplement one residential building for another. So there shouldn't be any increase in the sewer usage because there's not going to be an increase in the student population because of that new building.
Okay.
So, and there's a decision letter that the planning board has to write concerning the decision we made, the vote we made, so if you're interested, anybody's interested in reading that for information, it might be helpful in your discussion.
Okay. If I may ask a question,
Sure.
Mr. Chair. My understanding is one building isn't being torn down, a new building is being built up. So there's, the old building's still in place. It's not like it's being demoed, is my understanding.
Does that sound right?
That's what we were told, is that their plans for that building were storage or something else, but not new, not dormitory
Residential.
living space. So they did say several times when asked that it would not create any higher enrollment in the school, and also that the sewage flow itself would actually, could be expected to diminish because of not fewer persons, but more efficient, toilets and faucets and whatever else. So they said there wouldn't be an increase in flow. And our peer engineer didn't raise that as any question, so it seems like that's the case.
I only bring it up because we are the sewer commission, the select board, and the planning board doesn't okay sewer connections and stuff like that. It falls on us.
And it is a new sewer connection,
Yes.
so,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in a different place.
Yeah.
Absolutely, but definitely going into the sewer.
Okay.
May I, on the subject
Let me
still
just
of,
say that we'll send an invitation to him for our next meeting.
All right, thank you.
I just
Yes,
wanted, as background to what was just stated about Eagle Hill School in particular and the pilot agreement, and I think I heard it said that their recent development or construction reopened the contract, and I wonder if that's just a personal opinion, because I've been of the understanding that the voluntary agreement is not tied to the number of properties on their campus, but rather tied into houses off of their campus that would increase the amount of the agreement. And speaking of the amount of the agreement, I don't know the figures on that, but I think it's now back to $50,000 or more under the existing agreement. They and others keep saying, well, they're the largest taxpayer by far, and some say there should be much more, but I just am wondering if those figures are current.
Maybe we'll find out in 2 weeks.
Okay,
I'd heard the
I can speak with John.
figure of 60,000, but
60,000
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, 'cause I've been working on
was
it.
the pilot.
Can we have a copy of that agreement?
Yeah, of course.
Please, thank you.
One other quick thing, in the policy, there is a clause, if you expand and develop, it opens up for a pilot renegotiation.
I'm sorry, Bill, if I may, in the pilot agreement that
Pilot
we have
policy
proposed,
that
or in
we
the
have with the
contract that
town.
was signed?
The pilot policy that we adopted
And
for
that
the
they-
town of Hardwick,
Right.
it's in that.
So, okay, we've said we'd like that, but it's not in the signed contract.
I don't think there's a signed
No, there's
contract.
no
Well, there's a signed
contract.
contract
Agreement.
from 14 or whatever it was.
There's a policy that we voted on.
Talk about the pilot agreement with you in
It's signed,
yeah.
2014.
It's kind of-
Yep. You don't have it right there, do you?
I don't have it right here, no.
I'm just kidding.
That would be kind of amazing though, 'cause
Right?
Okay,
Is that it?
no, we have to go
No, I mean
through
for visitors' comments.
unless there's some more visitor comments. Approval of minutes, June 9th. We kind of put this off last time.
Did you give me information on it?
I read it through. I think we were arguing about whether something that happened at
A statement made at a planning board meeting
right,
that referenced me and how I did supposedly these things.
Right, and that was recorded in the minutes of that meeting, which I believe is correct.
Well, sir, I was
Whether the
actually there.
statement is correct or not, the minutes just reflect what was stated there. And it could be a
No.
whole string of, propaganda, we'd still be seeing it in the minutes. So I don't know.
No, because the town shouldn't be publishing defamation things and lies in meeting minutes that were spoken that were not.
Well, who's
Not
to
involved.
decide then?
What do you mean, who's to decide? That's common practice, sir.
We
And you
have-
said you were gonna look into it and actually, get information on this.
Well, I don't remember saying that, and I think we left it that.
Well, I was at that meeting, Mr. Smith was at that meeting, he recorded that meeting, and I didn't make those statements that Bill Cole says I made.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, ma'am.
So just to go to the June 9th minutes, there was a couple spelling errors that Mr. Tinker had caught that I have corrected. There was also a couple things that needed to be moved because they were taken out of order at the meeting, so that stuff has been corrected. And we did watch what Mr. Cole said at the meeting, and that's what is reflected in here. Not necessarily what happened at planning board, but the comments made by Mr. Cole. So that is what is here in front of you.
So,
Well, I don't see what we can do about it.
well, I just object to it, so you guys can vote it in, like, I object.
You won't vote for it then?
No. Why am I gonna vote for something that's
Even
not
though it's an accurate
It's not an
depiction
accurate-
of, it's an accurate depiction of what happened during the meeting. And that's all meeting minutes are supposed to be.
No, they're not supposed to be verbatim and quoting people. They're supposed to be a summary of what took place.
Right. And if a statement was made during
That's
that
false.
meeting.
That's false.
You guys seem excited to get this statement into your minutes.
No, I'm trying to,
Go ahead, pin it down, dude.
I am trying to
You're having
make
fun
it
anyway.
clear,
I am.
Yes,
I'm having a
good.
blast.
I know it. It's great.
make it
Go ahead,
clear
make it clear.
that the meeting minutes are supposed to be a depiction of what actually happened at the meeting.
Right, you can say
True or
Mr.
not?
Cole stood up and made a statement in your meeting. Right?
I move that we approve the meeting minutes as written for June 9th, 2025.
I'll second the motion, sir.
Further discussion?
I object to it because the town shouldn't be publishing false statements, sir.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
Okay.
Done.
You got somebody raising their hand up in this
What?
moment.
Thank you. Well, I've just been called a liar and a defamer or something, so let me just say this. At the select board meeting that these minutes are discussing, I made a statement of what had happened at the planning board meeting. I totally agree that what is said at the select board meeting is what should be in the select board minutes. And I'm not saying that I wasn't accurate about what was said at the planning board meeting, if we have to go there. But the first thing I'd say is, I don't know where the minutes, at the YouTube, which has 400 and some views, it's good to know people are watching. So that YouTube that you looked at, in that, I looked at my own statements, and I didn't say that Mr. Tinker threatened legal action against the town. I did say he threatened legal action. I also didn't say that he walked out of the room in that recording on the YouTube of the select board meeting. I did not say that. Now, both of those things ended up in the minutes for the draft minutes for June 9th, and is part of the problem that is being raised here. That recording is available to everybody, so I would look at, feel free to look at that if you want. You'll see that what I said was that the two of them were at the meeting, and Mr. Tinker, we raised his ire by beginning to read in the open meeting his letter. That's what that was about, and that's what we said. Now, going back a little bit, I keep hearing, oh, the recording is available from our planning board meeting. Well, it is not available on Mr. Smith's site.
Yes, it is.
It isn't?
Yes, it is.
Nope, it's not. May 14th and May
No,
13th
this
is
is a
not.
new wrinkle to me.
So we're told that, oh, you can go and you can see what was said, how I mischaracterized it. It's not there. But Fleming has one, when he's back in town, we'll look at that. But, you know, it absolutely is the case, it's everyone's recollection that he said, oh, why wasn't I invited to the meeting? 3 times I'm mentioned on the agenda, why wasn't I invited? Well, you don't have to be invited if we're
No, you
talking
should
about
give
the law.
proper notice.
No, you're on the agenda, I know you look at the agendas, we read into the record publicly, the only way we can discuss that,
It's
that letter.
interesting.
So we read that into the meeting, there were 2 people in attendance, he stood up, he got upset and talked about.
Point of order, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
You're gonna just let him sit here and talk? He had his
thought it was clear
chance
that-
before we were even gonna vote this. But now he recollects and now he didn't say it?
All right, we're gonna table this.
What do you mean? It's already approved.
Right. Had enough?
Yeah, I'd like to see the recording though.
September 15th,
Motion to approve as written.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Just approved September 15th.
Thank you, sorry.
Town administrator request, discussion and vote on the day before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so it's the same request I made last year. I'd like to close municipal offices at 12 o'clock the day before Thanksgiving to give the staff time to cook and prepare to spend with family.
So moved.
Second.
A second. Well, I would like to clarify it, it should be a half day. So if somebody works 10 hours, they work 5. You know what I mean? Because we're doing this for the entire town, or we're just doing it for the town hall?
Entire town. Obviously not public safety.
So if somebody's got a 6-hour day,
They work 3. You know what I mean? So we say a half day.
You just want a half day.
A half day. Whatever's person's schedule, if they work 12 hours that day or 10 hours, they work 5.
I think I could go with a full day. Let them have the day.
yikes. And then what happens on Friday?
We're closed.
Yeah, it's already part of the holiday. You
We
just want a
go
half
there.
day?
A half day's good.
I still recommend that closing everywhere at 12 o'clock, no matter if you're sewer, highway, or town hall. That's my recommendation.
12 o'clock? All right.
Still second it?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Discussion and vote on Kearsarge Solar.
So you have in front of you the track change version. I have the clean version in front of me, but in front of you is the track changes, so you can see what was changed from what you saw a week ago, or 2 weeks ago, excuse me. I'm sorry.
Excuse me, can I get a copy of just one part of that after you, yeah, because I have the old comments. I want the new.
No, I gave it to you.
Okay.
It's in your,
Here's this.
right there.
Yeah, it is, but, okay.
Yes, no?
And Mr. Blake is available, our town council. He said that if we have any questions, or the board has any questions, we can call him to answer it, because everyone's anxious to get this done. You'll see that the annual rent has been streamlined and cleaned up. You'll see that the actual acreage is mapped out. Do you have anything else you want to?
Well, the acreage is 24, that's on the first page.
Right.
I sent questions earlier this week, so you know, to clarify all this.
You have questions? You said-
I sent these questions to town council, to Jeff.
Good.
To clarify all these issues. And he responded back, we're reducing from 48 to 24. We're keeping the 20,000 per megawatt DC, not reducing it down to 14,000. We're getting 100,000 upfront. The only question, I have a question on that, is I asked him, that 100,000 is due upon the signing of this, execution of this lease. And then they responded back and said it would be for the start of construction. And then I sent an email back to Jeff and said the intent was upon execution of this lease that we get this money up front, because what we're doing is we're giving them developmental rights over the next 18 months. So they can work out whatever deals, get permitting, go through conservation, all these things. And so the town should be compensated for that, because we can't do anything with that land. And it helps them with this whole deal, and Jeff is fine with it, and they came back and they answered with permitting, once they start local permitting, but that's not a time frame. So that would be a question we should call Jeff this evening and ask him that question, and see if he's spoken to them and clarified that.
Would you like me to, Mr.
Sure.
Chair?
And one other thing, the 10,000 per pilot, so that 100,000 up
Hi,
front
Jeff, it's
would
Justine.
be
How are you?
credited from the first year pilot program.
I'm good. Do you
Because
mind
that
if I
would
put
be
you on speaker
100,000.
so the board can ask you some questions? All right, thank
Say
you.
again?
So,
All right, town council is on the phone.
Good evening, Jeff. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, no worries. How are you guys?
Good.
Fine.
We're good.
Good.
so, all right. So Jeff, we were just wondering if you got any clarification on the 100 grand, because the intent was, once we sign this lease, it would be payment upon execution of the lease, and then they put in, based on local permitting. So do you have
Beginning
a
on
time?
the commercial operation date. In addition, Leslie shall provide a $100,000 upfront payment, at the commencement of state and local permitting. Yes, that's how that is in there.
Yes.
Are they, Justine, did you get them on the phone as well?
Nope, I just have you.
Okay, so I think, Bill, what we were thinking about it, we were gonna ask them that, because that does seem to be a sticking point here. They don't wanna put in any money until they've actually started asking for the permits. We want them to give us money when they sign the lease.
Right.
So how do we fix that?
Well, I thought they were gonna be dialed in as well, and we can ask them.
I
And
can.
if they wanna negotiate and agree with it, then we can just type that in.
I can pull up
Call them
Andrew.
on, I have my phone here, we can call whoever.
Well, I think if you got an iPhone, Justine, you can add them, right?
I have an Android, but I can just add him. If you don't mind, just give me
Good.
1 second.
Okay.
He's to show up for the meeting.
Yeah. Not anymore.
Oh, no, Andrew voicemail.
They don't know that we're gonna call them though.
I think
They'll
it's just mentioned it
answer. But the number I just called, they did not answer. Let me try this
Won't
one.
make feedback.
No. I was asking if it would back feed or something, and I said, no,
Feedback.
totally fine.
Hi, Andrew, how are you? Do you mind if I put you on speaker and three-way our town council? All right, just 1 second. Jeff, are you there?
I'm here.
Andrew, are you there?
I sure am.
All right, great.
How are you? Hi, Andrew. How are you? So, Andrew, listen, we're on the phone here, as you know, with the select board, and we had some additional financing options that we put in there. And our understanding is that we want the $100,000 from the pilot up front. You sign the lease, we get the money. You have here that you get it upon commencement of state or local permitting, which could take up to a year or more, right? Correct. So would you agree to us getting a $100,000 payment up front with the, you sign the lease, you give the 100K? My problem with that is National Grid, Jeff, because we're gonna owe them probably with the CIP program, $2 to $3 million. And so we're very tight on cash. So I would much rather do that upon commencement of permitting, which we're going to try to start as soon as possible. And that's why I put it there. I didn't want to have to wait until we started construction. So I moved it up to commencement of permitting, whether it's state or local. Andrew, you say as soon as possible. What does that look like? Does that look like 3 months, 6 months, a year? What is as soon as possible in your in terms of this project?
I think we'll start permitting within a year, unless National Grid changes something and pushes this out even further. But we'd like to start within a year. I mean, I think what we could do, Jeff, because I understand what you're getting at, we could say the sooner of we start permitting for 1 year. So therefore the town knows they're going to get the money then.
So,
Okay. Go ahead.
so just within the 1 year, so whether you start permitting or not, after the 1 year, we get a check?
Right. And if we start permitting sooner, we give you the check.
Okay.
So it's within 1 year of
Of the signing of the lease?
signing of the lease.
So I have right here.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah,
Good?
I'm good with that.
I'm good with that.
Question?
Yes, sir.
All right. So
Wait,
do you guys want to vote to approve the lease subject to the negotiation that we just had?
Mm-hmm.
Andrew and I can put the clause in there. We can play with the language. And did you have any other questions for me or for Andrew? I know
Yes.
there was a question from
Yes.
Justine about Exhibit A. My understanding of Exhibit A and the lease itself is that they provided us with, legitimately, it's a rough sketch. But as they start doing their design and everything, the sketches are going to get more and more and more detailed, and to scale. I think it was 1 in 300 feet or something. But they are going to stay within that area that they have blocked off, solar array, PV array. You can see it, and I don't know if you're looking at it right now, but you can see a red line around it. It will stay within there. They'll certainly focus and give us a little bit more detail. And that ultimately will be not this plan, but a different plan will be the one that is recorded.
Okay, sir, I have 2 more questions from the observers who have both been involved in this. So if we could just stand by. Yes, sir, Harry?
Yeah, just the access to the gravel, once the lease is signed, is there any problem with that, the town accessing, mining the gravel in the 24-acre area?
No, that's in
So they allowed us, it says no later than construction commencement date, lessor us shall at its sole cost and expense remove the gravel stockpile from the premises. So, Andrew, what are you looking at construction commencement date?
I think that's going to be 2 years.
Okay. So there's your answer.
Okay.
In about 2 years, we'll have 2 years to pull the stuff off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Cole?
That was my question, just to make sure we weren't giving up development rights or access to the ground.
All right.
Is there a liquidated damages clause that if for some reason this all falls apart, that they still have to pay
There should be a
us?
cleanup.
No, I meant, if they don't go forward with construction after they've signed the lease, we should be entitled to some money for taking it off the market.
Well, that $100,000 would not be repaid, is my understanding. So Jeff, is that correct? Like the $100,000 payment that they make in a year, if they don't commence and they, for whatever reason, don't do this, that the town doesn't have to pay back that $100,000?
That's the way I understand it. Andrew, do you understand it that way as well? Do you understand what our folks are saying?
Yep, yep. We could make it into payment that if we don't start, whenever, go ahead with the project, it doesn't become refundable.
Non-refundable.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, we'll tweak that.
Okay,
Okay,
great.
are we good?
And the lease would be terminated in that case? If it didn't start within a certain period, then we're not talking about any long lease.
Does the lease go out if you don't start in a given period of years? Is there something about that in there?
It's a 20-year lease.
I'm sorry, I don't believe that there is at this point. I mean,
No. Yeah, we couldn't do that because it's not in our National Grid. So we have to get National Grid to basically do their work. And we don't want to build the solar project without knowing that National Grid's going to finish their work. But we're going to be out 7 figures with National Grid. So we need an indefinite period. If National Grid finishes their work, that's fine, but we could sign up for that. I'm happy doing the non-refundable, but I can't say there's a timing.
Andrew, if we wanted to say 5 years, would I mean, it seems to me that would be more than enough time. Is that something you and your company could agree with?
I would say 5 years unless it's solely due to the utility delay.
And if it didn't happen, say Nat Grid doesn't allow it, or the president of your company runs off somewhere, does the lease go out, or do you always have this lease and you can come in and put in trailer park?
No, I don't think they can put in a trailer park,
No,
but
they wouldn't.
they do have the lease. Andrew, would you be willing to put in 5 years to terminate after 5 years unless it's not the fault of you?
Sure, unless, I would even make it stronger, Jeff. It's 5 years unless it's solely due to utility delay.
Right, no hinges on
That sounds
National Grid.
fine.
Yeah.
But if you can hear me, we have a signed interconnection agreement with National Grid. So we have a signed agreement that they've given us what the cost is. They just need to do their work. And as Jeff knows, under what's called the state CIP program, or construction in progress, they have to, it's allocating, they're going to have a major substation upgrade. And so they have to start their work. And that's between the state and National Grid. We don't control that. But we have a signed agreement that says National Grid will connect us at X dollars once their work's done. So 5 years, unless it's solely delayed by the utility, that's fair enough. I mean, I don't think with the interconnection, rather with the investment tax credit, we'd still be talking about it. So we hope it's gonna be 3 years max.
Okay.
All right, are you guys good with that 5 years terminate unless solely due to the utility delay?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
I think we're ready to sign
I think so.
Per these amendments, yeah.
for the amendments.
Yeah, so what you guys can do is you can move to accept the lease, subject to amendments regarding the payment of the $100,000, which is the sooner of permitting or the start of permitting or 1 year, being non-refundable, and the lease shall terminate within 5 years unless inaction by the company is solely due to the utilities delay. So if you want to say so move, then
I
you
so
can so
move.
move it, and then
And I'll
Andrew and I
second.
can.
All right, we have a motion and seconded, all in favor? Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay.
You're good
Thank
to
you
go.
very much. I think that this was the way to do it at the very end when we had just a few little things, getting us both on the phone with you guys and
Yeah.
being able to talk it right out. I'm glad we did this. So
Mhm.
we'll tweak the lease. We'll put it in final. We'll send it over to Justine, and you guys can sign it when you get a chance.
Okay, great.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Good deal for the town.
We're there.
Yeah.
Discussion and vote on Quabbin legislation support letter.
We have a Zoom meeting coming up,
Yeah.
I believe next week, so we don't have the finalized version yet. I talked to Mr. Zinni today, but hopefully after our Zoom meeting next week.
Good.
You want a quickie report?
A quickie report would be
Go ahead.
fine.
The only reason I offered that is because I did call Senator Comerford's staff. So Elena's on leave, but Jesse is covering anyway. Of the three pieces that the group is working on, the one piece, which was the jointly signed town letter to Mass Water Resources Authority, is kind of on hold, really. It needs to be discussed more. Nobody's really ready to sign. There's no official version for select boards to vote on or consider yet. And then a few of us worked on some other things, just so you have it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I ended up working with Sue Cloutier of New Salem, just to tune up the proposed resolution for towns to use in the spring, which can be guess I'm not going to talk too much. Which can be tuned up by all the individual towns to their liking. But we ended up putting together kind of a little introductory page for what it's worth. The resolution part of it's still the same as what the group had already, pretty much. And the third piece was the letter to Eastern Mass citizens and media, and someone else, a couple of other towns worked on tuning that up. So I'm sure we'll all hear about it, whoever of us can be available on the Zoom call. Anyway, that's my update.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
You're welcome.
And thank you for your work on this.
We'll see you on the Zoom call.
Do you need water?
Yeah, I don't know, I might need a drink. No, you don't have to go do it.
Discussion and vote on OCAM battery storage. Now, this would be a letter for us to support the idea that they shouldn't have a battery storage in OCAM.
As you probably remember from 2 weeks ago, Representative Berthium brought this up and requested the board support the town of Ocam against the battery storage. This is the template I received from, I did not write this letter, it's the template I received from the town of Warren. West Brookfield is another one that signed on and did the same letter. So I just put it on our letterhead, changed it to reflect Hardwick, and then put the chair as the signatory. So if that's something you guys would like to do, here it is.
I move that we sign the letter as written.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
I've already signed one for the Ware River Watershed Advisory Committee, so.
All right, I'm opposing it.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Town administrator report.
So So we had a call with CMRPC on ongoing projects. Met with Harry Comerford on Kearsarge Solar, which thank you for that. FY25 has been closed, and we were able to identify the final variance going back to 2023. And we did certify free cash. So that's exciting. We're still working on standardizing financial policies and procedures between the various departments.
Do we have a figure on free cash?
71,000. However, we're waiting for one more reimbursement from a grant from last year. If we get that reimbursement, we can recertify free cash and it'll go up about $17,000.
Thank you.
And we held our bi-weekly financial management planning Zoom with the outgoing and current accountant. Today, Chairman Volheim and myself had a kickoff meeting for the MVP grant. We are advertising for a wastewater treatment plant operator, a highway equipment operator, a library assistant, and a van driver. The library assistant, Nancy Lamb, has given her resignation. I got the resignation letter today, so I'll forward it to the board. So we are looking into that. I attended an injured on duty training in Northampton with Chief Landine and Lieutenant Tupin. Personnel handbook is mostly updated. Just a couple things I want to tweak with the treasurer before presenting it at personnel and to the select board.
When you do present that, Mr. Chair, I didn't mean to cut you off, but when it is presented, will it be presented with red line and comments so we can review what was removed and what was added?
No, because I started over with my own template, so I can go through every section and talk about what's different. But there's no red line because it's a template that I've created.
Well, I'm just, if I may, Mr. Chair.
Good.
Why, like, who authorized updating this? And, because we did this in 2023. And why are we spending time updating a personnel handbook that we just roughly just approved?
I don't think we've had a meeting since then.
Well, we haven't had a meeting since August or July on this.
Yes, ma'am.
So in the current personnel handbook, we ran into issues because there was conflicting language. In one section, it would say one thing in terms of, like, for example, accruals, and then in another section, it would say something else. So it leaves us to be, okay, well, what do we do? Because it's conflicting language. The current one, I think, is too big and too cumbersome, so it's actually going to be a little bit shorter than what we currently have. And also some of the language has to be updated. For example, like the military leave language, the laws have changed.
Who did you work on this with?
So I did it myself because I've done 2 other handbooks in 2 other towns, but I've reached out to all the department heads, and I said if you have any comments or feedback, so I did collect feedback from all the department heads.
Well, let's look at it and see if we like it.
I see no harm in it.
Can we get a copy of both?
Yeah, of course.
The old one and the new one?
Absolutely.
All right.
With an explanation of why these changes were made.
Right,
Why did you reduce this to this? Comments.
I plan on going through every section with the personnel committee.
Okay. And
Yes, sir.
never mind, I'll refrain, I'll hold back.
I lost my train of thought. Worked with the police chief on the intermunicipal agreement between New Braintree and Hardwick. We are looking at new dates for that meeting because New Braintree wasn't going to have a quorum on Wednesday. So that meeting has been postponed. I don't have a date for you guys yet, but we are looking at different dates to see what works. We held a thank you lunch for the former town accountant. And right now we're working to coordinate our annual managers training. It looks like it's going to be in January. We did it last year, and it looks like we'll do another managers training.
Quick question regarding the town accountant that left. Was there an exit interview done, and will that information be shared with the board?
So exit interviews are optional. She's already spoken to, I know, 2 of you as to why she was leaving. So there was no need to. She didn't express an interest.
She didn't have an issue.
Exactly. Thank you. Okay. Met with the new head of West Brookfield Ambulance Services. Currently next week, the chair and myself are meeting with the chair in Barry and the new town administrator in Barry. You look like you were gonna say something.
Mr. Chair,
I'm
Yes,
just
ma'am. Yes,
mid-sentence,
sir.
but okay.
would you post that meeting so anybody on this board can attend?
What meeting?
The meeting with the chair of the Barry and the town administrator for Barry for the ambulance service contract.
So
That
it's
meeting.
not just the ambulance service contract, there's also, as you know, we've had some issues at the senior center, so those are other things. It looks, if they just want it to be the four of us,
I actually attended that meeting, not to get off topic, but the chair opened the invitation to anybody on our board. She said, just post the meeting, anybody can come.
Okay, let's do that.
if you'd like to
Okay.
do that, I will.
Yep. And she said she'll make it either 4:30 or 5, that's acceptable.
So the meeting's changing?
Yeah.
It was 2 o'clock.
What, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
so why do we have to change the time?
Because I work during the day and I have to commute and get there. That's why. And I'd like to be there. And Town of Barry doesn't have a problem with it, so. why
No,
should we?
I have a problem with it,
Okay, you have a problem.
Yeah.
Okay, so then,
but I'll go
no,
anyway.
I'll make it for 2. I'll accommodate you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, what am I doing?
Just leave it for 2, but you
Bill.
don't post a meeting.
Bill, we'll post it. You can come. We'll move it to 5 o'clock.
We'll just check with the Town of Barry.
I'll do whatever Maureen Marshall tells me to do.
Okay, and just let me know. Thank you.
All right, I will reach out to Melanie, the town administrator, and I will coordinate and let you guys know.
Okay.
Give me 1 second to write that down. Okay. We held our monthly department head meeting. Liquor license renewals went out, Class 2 and Class 3 auto renewals have gone out. I know the inspectional services, building, police, and fire are working on their inspections over the next several weeks. I actually hand-delivered the liquor license renewals, to kind of just do a more personal touch. For recognition, what?
I'm just saying I'd be happy to deliver the liquor licenses anytime.
I want to recognize Felix Bediaco. He is our new assistant treasurer collector. He's been running the office in the absence of the treasurer when she's at conferences or meetings. He's taking courses with the treasurer, and he's catching up to speed on everything, and I am incredibly proud of him. And I just think that the board should know what a great job he's doing. Important dates, we are running a Hardwick food drive. Food donation bins have been placed in the foyer of the Municipal Office Building. We cannot accept monetary donations, but we've had a great turnout so far, and had a couple pickups so far, and the bucket's already full again, so I'd like to thank the community and just let everyone know that that's still ongoing.
That's fine.
And that's what I have.
Thank you. Selectmen roundtable?
You guys have anything?
No.
I do. But Harry has a question. I don't know.
Yes, sir.
Can I make a comment?
Sure.
Okay. A while ago, I talked to Mr. Bernstein from Kearsarge about solar on the roof of the elementary school and over the parking lot, whether there would be an interest by them and in general. And he said yes, it would be. It would require an RFP to do that. And I think maybe the town should start thinking about that as another source of revenue. I'm not sure of the status of the roof of the school, but I think it could be worded so that if we send out an RFP for the roof and the parking lot, it could be in regards to when the roof is, when a new roof is put on, that type of language. But it could provide additional revenue like the one you just agreed to for the town.
Well, that's a great idea, and I would suggest that you get together with Justine and she can bring you up to speed about the MVP program grant application that we have going. We just had a meeting today, and it's, you know, we might be on 3 parallel tracks, because the school is doing a grant application for a new roof, and we're going for a new roof and electric, solar photovoltaic. So I like the idea of being out in the parking lot just to provide shade. It would be good. So anyway, thank you.
So I have a thing I'd like to read for the record, Mr. Chair, regarding, I'd like to address a procedural concern that affects not only this meeting, but how our select board functions moving forward. Prior to this meeting, I submitted 4 written agenda items on November 6, 2025, including the ambulance service contract for Barry, agenda request and meeting management policy draft, the meeting conduct and order of business policy draft, and discussion regarding legal bills and authorization for contacting town council. None of these items were included on the posted agenda on the Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20B. Once a select board member submits a topic in writing, that topic becomes a matter reasonably anticipated to be discussed and should appear on the agenda. I also want to note for the record that both the town administrator and the executive assistant to the select board received my written requests and did not perform and ensure these items were properly brought forward. It is part of their responsibility under their respective job descriptions to facilitate lawful posting and communication of select board business. And this failure to represent a breakdown in process that must be corrected. My intent here is not to be adversarial, but to correct a reoccurring procedural problem. As elected officials, each of us, including the staff who supports this board, have a fiduciary duty to the town of Hardwick and its residents. That duty means acting in the town's best interest, upholding the law, and ensuring fair participation by all members. Therefore, I am requesting that all 4 of my previous submitted agenda items be added to the next agenda, and that future written agenda requests by any select board member be included automatically without obstruction. Additionally, I recommend that this board begins formal discussion and eventual adoption of a permanent agenda request and meeting management policy so that no future select board member or citizen ever has to face this issue again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And if those agenda items can go on our next agenda, that would be fine.
If that's what you want, you're the chair, you set the agenda.
Thank you. Anything else?
Make a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.